All right, welcome to an introductory course, like a course intro video, I guess, for Life Science 11, the online course that is asynchronous at your own pace. I'll talk about pacing and how this course can be done at any rate between first semester, second semester, or linear or summer, whatever that ends up being. So welcome, I am Mr. Kuchma. You can get to know me a little bit by clicking on the course introduction. I'm a bit of a biology nerd, so I'm excited to be teaching this. You've probably already made it to the course introduction because the course intro video is here, and you've probably already read through the Start Here document, but I want to give you a couple quick important notes about it. This course is an online course, meaning that you're pretty much going to be watching videos and learning the content through those videos exclusively. In addition to just watching the videos, there are notes that you take, there's assignments that you fill out and complete, there's tests and quizzes, there's activities like a lab and a field trip that you document, and it's pretty awesome. Now, the first thing that you're going to want to do is get activated in the course. And you're going to be watching, or you're going to be completing the taxonomy challenge. The taxonomy challenge is the very first thing, which I will get to in a second when I click on to taxonomy. The other thing is that once you've watched this course intro video, you are going to want to meet with Mr. Kuchma. So that is a quick Zoom meeting with me where I get to know you, and if you have any questions in the course, you can bring them to me and I can answer them. So the one thing I will say about that is if you have an IEP or if you are getting support for the course, we'll want to talk about that in the course intro video. So Life Sciences 11 is, it used to be called Biology 11. There are 5 major units: taxonomy, evolution, variation, natural selection, microbiology, all the stuff under a microscope, macrobiology, that's more about relationships and bigger things in biology, and then biological processes, which is probably one of my favorite parts. And then at the final, or at the end of the course, there is a final exam. And I mentioned that the course is split up into like lessons, assignments, quizzes, and tests. So if you're curious about the way that everything is weighted, I can show you the setup for the course. Oop, that's not where it is. I think it's in Managed Grades. So the labs, and so basically the activities, labs, projects, all that kind of stuff, that's worth 20% of your mark. The assignments that you'll be completing throughout the course are worth 15% of your mark. The tests and quizzes from each chapter, that totals up to 35%, or like 35% of the course. And then the final exam is worth 30. So all of that adds up to 100, and that's how everything's weighted. Everything's kind of equally weighted in a section, so all the assignments are worth the same amount. All the quizzes are worth the same amount. And that is grades. I'm going to go back to the course content, and we're going to go to taxonomy because that's the first chapter that you'll be starting with. There's a bit of an introduction to Life Sciences 11, which you can watch. It's an Amoeba Sisters video, and there are, maybe I'll click on course introduction for a second because if maybe it's not here. But in taxonomy and in the course in general, there's a couple different people that I use for video resources. The big ones are the Amoeba Sisters, and this is the first video is made by them. And the other one is Bozeman Science, which is by Mr. Anderson, and you will see him in lesson 1 on a taxonomy. Oh wait, no, this is actually Crash Course. This is a Crash Course video. Let's see if phylogenetics is Mr. Anderson. Yes. So Mr. Anderson is a really cool award-winning science teacher. He's got tons of cool videos. So the videos in the course will kind of either be him or they will be the Amoeba Sisters. So the very first intro about biology is the Amoeba Sisters. And then lesson 1 is going to be a crash course, and then after that is classification, and this is going to be Amoeba Sisters again. And I want to highlight these first 2 lessons because these first 2 lessons are what lead into the taxonomy challenge, and the taxonomy challenge is what I use to activate students. So it's a fun little challenge. You can choose to either download the Word document or the PDF. I would say that the Word doc is probably easier to write in, but it's a quick challenge about taxonomy, and it's based off of some of my favorite animals. So this is my favorite animal forever, and then there's some fun stuff. These are ants from Mexico, and I had a really cool forestry job when I was growing up in the years of university, and I saw this in my work. So yeah, you're going to do your best. You can read through the instructions in the taxonomy challenge after you've watched lesson 1 and lesson 2 on taxonomy a little bit. Now, another thing that you do as you go throughout each chapter is that you're going to be taking notes. And again, this is totally up to you how you do these. I suggest 3 different ways of taking your notes. Number 1, you print off this PDF and you do everything in pen or pencil. Option 2 is you download the Word doc and you just type everything into this, and that's totally fine. And then option 3 is you get your own notebook and you write by hand, and that's totally fine as well. Okay, so any one of those options will work, but I have very specific requirements for when you are actually completing the notes. And if I scroll down past all the notes and I go to the notes hand-in box, when you go to submit notes, I believe there is, you get a different view when you're in student view. I'll go back, but there are a couple things when you go to submit your notes. I think if I go to the edit button, you'll see what I have written here. Okay, I have them written here. So I am looking to grade things out of 10 for your notes. 4 marks are for taking notes, which we'll talk about. 3 marks are for visual content, which would be pictures, diagrams, illustrations, process formulas, anything that you can draw out. And then 3 marks are for the vocabulary that I have listed. Okay, so it totals out of 10 marks, and I'm going to go back to show you what I mean by this. Oops, I was going to cancel this. All right. So when you are doing notes, I want to make sure that you guys are including things that you're watching from the video. So if I click on a video in classification, let's say, I'm going to play. Hopefully this video works. It's the Amoeba Sisters. I'm going to skip ahead to this.
So first, let's look at an awesome hierarchy system mnemonic.
Perfect. You could easily draw this out as a piece of visual content. This is what we use: domain, kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species, to classify each and every organism on the earth, no matter if it's a plant, animal, or fungus, or protist, etc. So you could easily include this. This is a great little thing. It's a little triangle, and at the top it's the most broad and wide open, and then as you go down it's narrowing into a pyramid, and you get more and more and more specific, and it's pretty cool. So that is a piece of visual content. If you take a look, they've got some fun mnemonics there for you. There's also 3 different domains, so you can put this as visual content in your course, in your notes. But then I'll turn on their closed captioning, because their closed captioning sometimes has like really cool information stuff that you might want to write down. So it says bacteria fixing nitrogen in the soil, oh, you might want to write that down in your notes. It's a cool thing. If you don't know that bacteria are super diverse and do lots of different things, you could make some notes about what bacteria are known for. And so the closed captioning is kind of helpful to see what the people are saying in the videos. So back to the notes. You do have to, for 3 marks, also just label and define all of the different vocab words at the beginning. That is important. When you go into the final exam, which we'll talk about in a minute, these are what some of the questions are going to be based off of. So you can either choose to define these all at the beginning here in the notes, or you can go to the very end of your notes and you can put them there instead. So how you decide to complete your notes is totally up to you, but that is something that I wanted to mention. Yeah, so basically when you fill these out, you should have a lot of different content. You should have all the vocab listed. You should have interesting things from the videos that you wrote down, and you should have visual content like the pyramid and things like that. So let's move on. Once you've completed all the lessons, at the end of the chapter is going to be an assignment, and it will look like this. And what I do for my assignments is I am checking for mastery. So I will mark, and actually I've got an EA that helps me mark, but they mark the assignment based off of your achievement goal. So not everyone is looking to get the same grade in this course. If you are looking to get an A+, that's awesome. Me and my EA, we're gonna mark your assignment very hard because we know that you want to get an A+ in this course. But if you're very happy with the C, and this is just the only science course that you have to take to graduate, you're probably not as stressed out about what you get as a grade in the course. So as you complete the assignment to the best of your ability, if you are roughly getting the same grade on your assignment that you're trying to get in the course, then you are good to go and you can move forward to the test. However, the test won't even show up. It's actually invisible. It's invisible until you submit your assignment and your achievement goal matches what you did. So like I said, if you are aiming for an A+, but you get 3 questions wrong, we're going to want you to correct those before moving on. So you're going to need to do corrections, which is fine. You'll do your corrections and then you'll resubmit. And the second time you'll probably be good to go. You can correct the 3 questions that you got wrong. And then the test will open up and you're good to go. Similarly, if you were looking to get a C and you got 3 questions wrong on the assignment, that's actually fine. You're just looking to, pass and move on. So you would be allowed to, even getting 3 questions wrong, we'll give you some hints to the questions that you did get wrong so that you can look at them and learn from them. But then you can go and write the test. It'll be visible and you're good to go. So this assignment is a check to see if you're ready for the test. Because the assignments, the notes and the assignments both count in the assignment folder, which is worth 15% of your mark, but the test is worth 35%, so over double. We want to make sure that you're ready for the tests. We don't want you writing them until you're ready. So if you go into the course right now, you will not see any of the tests in the course. They will only become visible once you have completed your assignment, you've submitted it, and we have marked it. Okay? That's kind of how a chapter works though. The chapter test comes at the very end of the course. I can't preview it right now, but when you get here, there is a time limit on it. So it's a little bit different than the other elements of the course, and you cannot use any resources when doing a test. You can't use your notes, you can't use your assignment, all those types of things. There may be some exceptions if you are an IEP student, and we will talk about that in the course intro video, course intro meeting that you'll have with me to get your course started. But that is how one chapter works, and every chapter follows the exact same format. So the evolution chapter follows that format, the microbiology follows that format, etc., etc., etc. However, there are these fun activities in between each chapter, and the first one is my all-time favorite, the field trip. But then there's labs and stuff as well. And the field trip has some tips on going out. And the field trip is super fun. All that you've learned so far is taxonomy. So if you go out on your field trip, I want to see that you've learned something about taxonomy. Like, can you locate and identify a plant and a fungi and an animal and a protist, maybe if you find some algae or something. And can you like find the binomial name, which you learn about binomial names in chapter 1. The last thing I want to talk about is the actual content to the course. So if you take a look at the BC curriculum document for Life Sciences 11, this course is very heavily focused on evolutionary theory. So literally, there's 3 big ideas about the course. Life is a result of interactions at the molecular and cellular level, which you'll learn about in the biological processes and microbiology chapter. Organisms are grouped based on common characteristics. This you'll learn about in taxonomy. And then there's a very large one on evolution occurs at the population level. Now, I have some Christian content videos in the course because we are a Christian independent school here at HCOS BCOS. And you will notice that. So I don't believe in this statement fully about evolution occurring at the population level. I still do believe that God created the heavens and the earth. I believe that humans are made in the image of God. And so as you go throughout the course, there's going to be some things that you have to learn about because they are a part of the BC curriculum, but that I don't personally believe. And for most people that are taking this course, you are not going to believe ever or either. So it's a little bit uncomfortable to jump into some of the content, but I am here to walk you through it. And if you have any questions, I would be happy to chat about the different elements of evolution in the course. So I try to do a good job of writing some or doing some content in the course, but just that I love science, I love biology, but I believe that God created the earth and that it is not by random chance that things have just evolved over time. That's all that I'm going to put right now into this course intro video. We can talk a lot more about any element of this in the Mr. Kuchma course intro video, course intro meeting over Zoom. I like the Zoom meeting. I want to get to know you and write down some fun facts about you because I like to get to know my students. And yeah, best of luck as you jump in. I hope that you have an amazing time in the course. And yeah, get started. Let me know how things go. See ya.